one way or another, we're going to get there.
It seems to be that way, but I'm unclear about exactly what the initiative was that Obama. I'll look it up.
Well, going back to what he talked about,
what's he saying?
He was saying that he wants an initiative to have disclosure of government secrets. Obviously, he's referring to things that occurred during the Bush administration.
So
we
he's
still
talking
don't know exactly what happened during
generalities.
He's talking generalities, but the language he's using is the language of the UFO disclosure movement. He's saying the word disclosure. Now, on Obama's website there was the citizens briefing documents where you could post what you thought were the most important, topics and issues that his administration. Well, UFO disclosure was number 29, I believe. There were a number of issues that were first. Number 29, in terms of people voting, you could vote. And if you went out, you could vote, and this little number went up. It's kind of cool. Huh. You got one more vote, So you could vote for these initiatives. It became in number 29. So this is obviously something that his administration has seen because they said they were going to look at the top 100. And he's got the people there, like Hillary Clinton and John Podesta and several others that are very familiar with this topic who attempted to do it 10 years ago but couldn't quite get where they wanted to go. So it's part of, it's a good point, Joe, it's part of a larger disclosure. And this is the point. It's not just about UFOs and ETs. Right. We need to kind of get to the point where we're a more open, transparent society. We don't have things that are hidden that don't need to be hidden. Because what is the cost of secrecy? The cost of secrecy, it's almost like when you fall asleep on your arm. Well, your body gives you these pins and needles feeling. We've had these pins and needles now for 40 years, and we're not moving. And what happens if you don't move that arm after a while? You're going to lose the circulation. You're going to get some damage. This is the problem. We don't want the different limbs of our political body getting cut off. That is not what our system is about. It wasn't set up that way by the Founding Fathers either. The whole point was to have accountability. That's why you have checks and balances, so they can check each other, and you have some accountability. It's very, very clear if you read their writings. So this is actually, you could see UFO disclosure as a part of the whole vision of the Founding Fathers, to not have these types of secrecies. Mm-hmm. Eisenhower warned about this, I believe, back in his farewell speech of 1959, that he actually warned of the military-industrial complex. He knew what was going on.
Right.
One of his aides actually wanted to go on 60 Minutes and say, I was with Eisenhower. We talked about UFOs on the plane one time.
They wouldn't let him on.
Don Hewitt, apparently, of 60 Minutes, said, we would have known about this if it was true, and they never let this particular individual on. But the point is that, this goes back a ways, and we really have to deal with it now. And if Eisenhower was telling us we needed to do it in the late 50s, we really need to do it now.
I think it's important to look at the fact that, like, if we can look at history as a history in this respect is the evolution of consciousness, as far as I'm concerned. That's what history is, as a progressive thing. So there's no real declining in consciousness. Like when we look at, like, people, there's lots of groups that say, let's get back to the Constitution of the United States because they were high principles. They were very, very intelligent, and not only intelligent, but spiritual principles that the country is founded on. Well, instead of the fact that we've fallen away from it, which we obviously have, is looked upon as a negative thing, maybe we weren't quite ready for it. And maybe what's happening now is for us to prepare us to actually get ready for democracy.
Yeah.
So we can actually have it for the first time.
What a concept.
That just came to me, and I'm not going to take credit for it because I think it was
it's a good idea.
Somewhere else.
No, it's true. It takes a lot of responsibility. There's no guarantee that these, democratic republics like we have, where we have these representatives, there's no guarantee they keep going forever. Historically, they've sometimes stopped, and,
Right.
But
I don't think we were ready for it. I think, because we obviously haven't embodied it.
We don't have any excuses now because we have all the tools we need to make it work, especially, with electronic communications and so forth. And so it's really high time that we took full responsibility. I mean, if you could think if we were to go into this territory and to just imagine the adventure of this, to actually go into this area, talk about it openly, instead of being shunned for talking about this. I can't tell you, Joe, how many people I've met in the military and intelligence communities that would like to tell their stories openly and are afraid to.
Sure, of
because
course
they feel
they're threatened.
And also being shunned by your friends and colleagues, so it's time to get beyond that, and it's time to just become who we are, and that's what it's really all about. It's more about us than about the ETs.
Well, Simeon, I think you've accurately expressed the purpose of this show, which is and the central theme of this show, shifting dimensions, the emergent paradigm. I mean, that's really what it's all about. It seems like we're moving into a new paradigm.
Yeah,
and we need to embody it more and more, and simple from that perspective.
Yeah, we can definitely do it, and I think we've got the right people now in the government and the executive office to bring it about. The spirit's there,
and the fact
it's possible.
Whether 2012 is an actual nexus point or not,
we'll find out.
It's interesting that Obama is now the last president from this last cycle, going into this new era, possibly.
Right. Well,
I'd like to thank you again, and I'd like to invite you to come back on again.
Okay, thanks a lot, Joe. I've really enjoyed this.
Continue this discussion. It's something that needs to happen, and I thank you for doing this here and elsewhere as well. We have a couple of books we want to talk about a little bit, or just promote. Opening Minds, and your new book. It's interesting. I haven't read it yet. What's the name of your new book?
Planetary Intelligence.
Planetary Intelligence. And the planetary intelligence is more of a hands-on kind of a guide to develop various.
Well, the whole thing I realized is the power of images, and I did put a lot of these crop circle images and had an artist also do some drawings. But these kind of have an impact on your awareness, just to realize that. And it's full of all these kind of fun little things you can do about working with the imagination, playing games, and so forth.
Wow.
To kind of
so it's working with the right brain
to access the subconscious by connecting more with nature, pretty much. And this is one very effective way to access that part of your mind, is to take a little time out, relax, spend some time in nature, or doing other activities that you really kind of enjoy, hobbies and things, to kind of expand your awareness. It's not as hard as it sounds, and it can be very
sounds
pleasant.
like fun, actually. Well, thank you again.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Please come back. And I want to thank our sponsor, iSeam. And if someone can tell me which camera to look in, I will look in the proper camera to do the iSeam plug. iSeam is the International Society for the Study of Subtle Energy and Energy Medicine. A vital community advancing subtle energy and energy medicine as a natural resource. www.iseem.org, and we have it up on the screen as I speak. I want to thank again our wonderful guest, Dr. Simeon Hein, and look for this up on our website too, shiftingdimensions.com. At some point it will be up there. Please go to it and look at past shows. We have lots of shows up on Google now, and we'll continue to put shows up there. This should be up maybe within a month or so. And keep exploring consciousness and opening your mind. Thank you again for CCTV54.org and for Shifting Dimensions. Thank you and good night.